Greetings, fellow Saiyans, Digidestined, Tamers, and other lifeforms. Welcome back to Saiyan TCG. In today's video, we have the Ultimate Ancient Dragon Starter Deck. Finally, we got these. So, I've been super excited about these because I really like Betamon and his evolution lines, both All Force and the Imperialdramon line. So finally we got DNA Digivolve in here. So yeah, now we truly have the real Imperialdramon deck. So yeah, unlike the last one that came out, we don't have like extra cards in it, which kind of sucks. It costs as much as that one, but yet we didn't hit any bonuses. I feel like they should have pushed up the Davis and Ken reprints and just put them in this. But what can you do, I guess. So let's just get into it. We'll go ahead and open both boxes. So you usually want to buy 2 of the starter decks only because there's cards in here that usually only come as 2 ofs. So you want to get your play sets, you have to buy 2. So, and then get rid of some of those. So then when you get like cards talking about the game, and then yeah, you should get memory gauges. So we got 2 new memory gauges for this, based off the ultimates for each. So you have Paioderma for 1, which is a blue card with green numbers. And then for the other side, you have Digimon with a green card with blue numbers. So it's the 2 different level 5s of the Imperialdramon line that you could go into. So that's awesome. Put those in the background. If I can move some of these around. Put Dino be next to you. Betamon. I usually sleeve the memory gauges so then I could use them so then they don't get scratched up. And then of course you get 2 each in both of them. So I have 2 of each now of those. What? I keep one of them usually. I just put it like in a binder or something to have it, and then the other one I sleeve up and I use sometimes. So starting off for our Digitamas, or the eggs, we have Betamon. So that's a Wormmon's in training stage. Sorry about that. I had a cough real quick, and I didn't want to cough on camera. So yeah, we have Wormmon's in training. So it's inheritable as well. You have a blue Digimon in play. This Digimon gains 10,000 DP, or 1,000 DP. My bad, not 10,000. That would be busted. 1,000 DP. So obviously Imperialdramon and Paioderma are dual colors, so if you have him underneath him, it counts himself, so then you would be able to get 1,000 DP. But I am not probably going to be using this one. I'm probably going to be using the Demi Betamons that when you restand, you gain. Hold on, let me see. It's the one that you draw a card. No, you draw a card if you have jamming. So yeah. So that's the one I'm probably going to be playing instead of this. But not a bad idea to be able to boost your DP with him. Next, we have Vmon, which you only get 2 of, so yes, this is why you need 2 of the starter decks. So he's a 3-cost on play, so which means you have to play him from your hand, not digivolve into him. It's reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with free in its type, so the typings are right there, so he has free himself. And most of the Imperial, I think all the Imperialdramon and even some of the other cards that they include in the starter deck all have free in it. So you should be able to search any Digimon. But the better one is the one actually from the set that lets you look for, I think it's like top 3 or 4 for a card with blue, a dual color card with blue in it. Because then you can search any of your blue-greens, any of your blues, any of your greens. Or basically any of your dual color cards to your hand, which is pretty cool. But this is also good. I would definitely probably play both. Just because he also just searches for any Digimon with free in its type, so not bad. So yeah, hold on. So yeah, so we have the 4 of them if you have the 2 starter decks. So definitely he's good. Next, we have Betamon. So, I mean, he's just a vanilla level 3 with 4,000 DP for a 3 cost to play. But the thing that's good about him is that he evolves over a blue or green Digi-Egg. So, and also the Vmon can also digivolve over blue or green, so it gives you flexibility of what eggs you want to run underneath. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to be playing non-conventional colors with the eggs or whatever, or if you want to play like half blue, half green, whatever your preference is, then I would suggest probably playing these that can digivolve over either color. That way you're not stuck where you can't digivolve from your hand. Next, we have my boy X-Vmon, which is awesome. Again, he could evolve over a blue or green, which just so that you have the flexibility. Even though both of the Digimon we've gone through are blue, there is green level the reason here, I believe. So this one, his main skill is if you would play it from your hand, you could, and you have a green Digimon in play, you could reduce its play cost. So I've seen somebody else make a video and they said that the reduced by 1 actually also counted for Digivolution, but it doesn't. It only affects play cost, which is right here. So if you, let's say you have a green Digimon in play, you could play this card for 3 cost from your hand onto the field, which not bad. I mean, he's a 4K, kind of low, but mainly what we're trying to do is get out 2 level 4s, so then you can go into the next card of this deck, which is Paioderma. But then also he has a inheritable skill when attacking. If you have a green Digimon in play, this card gains another 1,000 DP. So then if you use the Minomon, if you use Minomon and this, then you could get 2,000 DP boosted if you decide to go that way. But next card we have is Paioderma. So he's an 8 cost to play from your hand, 8,000 DP, 4 cost to digivolve on a blue or green level 4, but you're not gonna really be playing it by evolving. You're going to be DNA Digivolving, which is a separate thing right here. Hold on, let me just sleeve up I'm gonna sleeve up one of the other ones, but I'm still gonna show this one off first. So right here, DNA Digivolution 0 from a blue level 4 plus a green level 4. So how these work is that hold on, I'll just skip ahead to actually finding a level 4. Just to show off, like, how it goes. So, we're gonna get Sneemon, the other boy. So, how you do it is, when you're DNA digivolving, the colors, the way that they line up, you're going to stack your Digivolutions underneath by the color of left side to right side. So if you had, like, let's say you had the Betamon as an inheritable, which it doesn't have a skill, but let's just say that you did Digivolve on top of him for that, and then you played this, and it was still your turn, then you would stack the X-Betamon stack first, and then you would stack the Paioderma on top, and you would go into it for free. And then here's when digivolving, it says when DNA digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less to the bottom of the owner's deck. Pretty good skill. And then when attacking, once per turn, unsuspend this Digimon. So then you could swing with him, and then restand, and then swing again. And the other thing about it is, let's say that you swung with both the X-Betamon and the Sneemon, and they didn't die to security, and they were still on the board. So even if both of your Digimon were rested, you could still DNA Digivolve. And the good thing, and the thing about DNA Digivolve is, it actually says right here, Digivolve unsuspended. So you could attack with both Digimon underneath, and if they manage to survive, then you could DNA Digivolve, and then Paioderma will come out unsuspended. So that is pretty crazy. And like, same thing if you like attacked with one of them and the other one was unsuspended, it would still come out unsuspended when you DNA Digivolved into him. So I definitely think that that's pretty crazy. It's definitely going to be a crazy thing to get used to in the game, because now like you can never be too safe when you see that your opponent swung with his Digimon, because then out of nowhere they could just be like, well, DNA Digivolve for game on you in case that like you didn't have any securities left or whatever. Now, besides like a like hybrid for game, now you have to worry about DNA Digivolve for game. So it's definitely gonna add like a lot more, like it's gonna add a lot of like uncertain situations now, more uncertain situations of if you're safe with your opponent ending his turn or not. And then there's other cards in that we'll get into that let you DNA Digivolve as an inheritable skill at the end of your turn. So you could play like the other card that you need to DNA Digivolve, and they'll DNA Digivolve and go to your opponent's turn. So yeah, this stuff's going to be crazy. But then yeah, going on to the next card, the main star, I guess, of the deck would be Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. So he's a 12 cost, 13 to play, or 13 to play cost, 12 DP, I meant to say, instead of 12 cost. So he's 13 cost, 12 DP. He digivolves for 4 on top of a blue or green level 5. So there is no like cheating out that. We don't have a card that lets you cheat out Imperialdramons for cheaper. At least I don't think we do. It would be cool if we would have got like a card that lets you reduce cost, but I guess it's already busted enough, I guess. So, but like honestly, I love the art on this card. It is amazing. And then you got like the texturing, like you can see right there with like the light shining on the texture. This card looks amazing. And then, of course, he's blue-green, which will come in handy later for when we show off the option card. But then his when Digivolving effect is, when Digivolving, you may play one level 4 or lower blue Digimon and or one level 4 or lower green Digimon from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying their memory costs. So, you know how your DNA Digivolve to get into this. You can pull out XVmon and Stingmon from its evolutions and basically set up, if you have enough energy to not pass your turn when Digivolving this, you could set up DNA Digivolving into another Paioderma stack. Like this, this deck is going to be awesome. I was so excited when we got like this deck announced. But yeah, because I've been trying to like play all 4 Speedramon and it was alright, but like then obviously when hybrids hit, then like everything hybrid became the meta and everything else became too slow. So this is exciting for me. We're finally gonna get some more stuff that can actually compete, and hopefully, not that I hated hybrids. I mean, I love Frontiers as a series, but like blue hybrid and like purple hybrid Cherubimon and yellow security control hybrid just all got me hating hybrids and wishing that they never existed. Or at least like the blue freeze variant I don't like. I play mostly the like Lobomon into like Ancient Garurumon and Magna Garurumon stuff, and also the like Emperor Greymon stuff. I don't have Ancient Greymon, which I'm sad, but maybe that'll go down and I might pick that up just to play it. I mean, I like the deck, and yeah. But yeah, but this definitely is going to probably be one of my main decks going forward, at least this meta. They've announced EXO2 and it's on their Facebook page. It said like summer 2022, but then if you click on the website it says June 2022. I'm hoping it's not June, because obviously in North America we're just barely getting BT8, and like, and it's barely going to be, well, like the 27th or whatever now. So it's like literally less than a month to the next one. I hope that's not what's happening, because it's like we're not gonna get to barely enjoy this, just like how BT6 in North America came out, and then we got the EXO1 Classic Collection literally back to back. So I hope, I mean, I hate that they push back stuff, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be like rushed to enjoy my cards before we have to buy newer cards. I don't know. I hope somebody understands kind of like that feeling. Okay, next we have Paioderma, which really mad that he is not like hybrid. Because if you've been like following other stuff like the Digimon Dim cards, they released, or I think they either released or they're going to release the Frontier ones, and Paioderma is the basically the de facto rookie for Betamon in the background. So I wish that he would work with the Betamon like deck. That would be awesome. So that we could actually have a level 3 that would help maybe search more for your pieces. I also don't like how the ancient spirits don't count as hybrid. They just count as like ancient spirit or whatever. Like, for the sake of the deck, I think they should have been counted as hybrids, because the only way to get there would be to digivolve over your hybrids into it. So I kind of don't like that they made a different distinction, and then basically some of the effects don't work to pick the megas up. But yeah, so this one, on your opponent's turn, while you have a blue Digimon in play, this Digimon gains blocker, which is not bad. So again, your dual color cards count as both blue and green, so that satisfies the condition for this. So as long as you have one of your blue-green Digimon, or just a blue Digimon in play, or even a blue egg, technically, he gains blocker. So not bad. Not bad of a card. I may or may not use it. I'm probably going to go strictly more for the actual, like, Vmon, Stingmon stuff. But I might change my mind to see how it goes. Next we have Wormmon. So he's a green level 3. So like I said, we had the Vmon. Now we have Wormmon. Again, he digivolves over blue or green. And then he has the inheritable. At the end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its DNA Digivolution cost. So most of them, I think, cost 0. That may change later on if they come out with another card that's like too good to be free. But I think most of them that I've seen are 0. So yeah, so it's 0 cost. So you could hard play a card from your hand. So let's say, those would be other ones, but like, let's say you hard play another level 4 and you have like XVmon on the field with Wormmon underneath. If it would go to your opponent's turn, you could still DNA Digivolve at the end of your turn then. So yeah. So not bad. Of course, then you also like goes along with the art of this one, because then you see like Wormmon in the background, and then here he's like putting the little baby and training Digimon to sleep, and then you can see Minnomon in the background like asleep, hanging from the ceiling, because he's like a cocoon. So yeah, that's pretty good. I definitely would probably play this because of his inherited effect. But at the same time, like the level 4s that we have to play are kind of cheap, so I don't really see the need to do this. I think for like the other starter deck, since you're playing level 5s, it's probably more like necessary to play one of these with the inherited effects to digivolve at the end of turn. But you never know. I'll probably test it out to see if it's good or not for that. Alright, sorry, there's phone ring. Always when I'm trying to record, there's some noise. The next card we have Sneemon, which I showed. He's exactly like the XVmon, so if you have a blue Digimon in play, he costs 3 from your hand. He can digivolve over blue or green for 2, but then his inheritable effect is if you have a blue Digimon in play, draw 1 card. Then next, for the starter deck, we have Sneemon. You only get 2 of him, and his effect is he's a security Digimon, so if you check him in security At the end of battle, play him without paying its memory cost, and then his on-play effect is suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So they hit this in security. You could take out a Digimon or not, but then you could suspend a Digimon, so then you'll be able to maybe push your opponent back from going for game on you, or you could set up basically for the next turn. So then if you have an XVmon in play, or an XVmon in your hand, you could DNA Digivolve up into Paioderma again with him. Next, we have the other level 5. You get 4 copies of him, and you get Dino Beamon. So he costs 8 to play from your hand, 8,000. Digivolves for 4 over a blue or green, but again, you're not going to be Digivolving for cost. You're going to be DNA Digivolving for free using a blue and a green Digimon. So this one is green on the left and blue on the right. So then you would stack your, let's say you had Stingmon and XVmon, you would stack the Stingmon first and then XVmon on the bottom. And then his Digivolving effect is suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, but then it says if you are DNA Digivolving, that Digimon doesn't unsuspend until the owner's next unsuspend phase. So let's say let's say you had that set up with the Wormmon, and then you had to like hard play like Sneemon or something from your hand, and then you DNA Digivolve by the effect. You could suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then since it would go to their turn, it would normally unsuspend, but because you DNA Digivolved, it can't unsuspend now. And then that can hit any Digimon, so it doesn't have a level requirement or DP requirement. You could hit anything. You can hit a level 7 with that. You can hit a Mega Digimon with that. You can hit anything with that effect. And then his inheritable is this Digimon gains 1,000 DP for each of its colors. So that, again, if you're playing a dual color card on top of it, he would then give the next Digimon up, so your Imperialdramons, plus 2,000 DP on top of him. So yeah, definitely you would want to play both the DNA Digivolves, because Digivolving over blue and green, and then the added effects towards the Imperialdramon. I would probably say the Paiodermon's probably better. I mean, he doesn't have an inherited effect, but the ability to swing twice at your opponent, and then like you could use other cards to give him jamming, so then he won't really die except for like an option card. So I think that one's still probably the better one, but again, DP increase isn't that bad. Plus that whole effect of being able to unsuspend or suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and that they can't unsuspend during their next turn, is pretty good, because then you have one less card that your opponent has that you need to worry about, and then you can knock it out. The next card, since we have Stingmon, they decided to give us Jewel Beamon also. So he's just a level 5 vanilla for 6. He's 7,000 power, and then he Digivolves for 2 over a level 4. So I mean, in case you don't see your level 5s, which I think you definitely probably should, especially with like some of the cards and combos of you drawing cards, I definitely think you should see the pieces. So I probably wouldn't use this one. I'm gonna be more playing the Dino Beamon and Paioderma stuff. So, but that, I mean, in case you're just playing with starter decks, maybe that would be a good idea to just play like maybe 2 of those. And then, like, again, if you're just playing the starter decks, they give you another level 6 in Gran Kuwagamon. So he's a 12 cost to play from your hand to hard play. He's 11,000 power. He Digivolves for 3 over a green level 5. So, I mean, you can Digivolve him on here or either the Dino Beamon or the Paioderma if you had to. And then he has security attack +1. And then his other effect is when you Digivolve into him, you gain 4,000 DP for the turn. So then he becomes a 15,000 security attack +1. So it's not bad. I mean, I personally would use this more on like a bug Digimon build. So like Tentomon with like all the effects to reduce evolution and like giving him more power, because the 4,000 is only for the one turn that he's played. He doesn't gain power any other turn. So like being able to give more power and then also be able to maybe give him more security attack would probably be like a good strategy. So I'm definitely like looking to. I'm building like another because I have like a Tentomon Kabuterimon line deck. I'm probably gonna be putting that in that deck instead. I've been planning some things for that, so yeah. And the next step, you only get 2 copies in the starter decks of these, so you gotta get 2 to pick up your playset. But it's definitely a good card. I think there was a card that was kind of like this before, or similar. I think it was like the Terror Cluster card. But now we have one where it's dual color. So how the options work: if it's a dual color, you have to have a blue and a green on field. So that could either mean a blue Digimon, a green Tamer, a green Digimon, and a blue Tamer, or have a dual color, but you need to have both colors on the field to be able to play this from your hand. If it plays in security and you don't have them, it still plays, but if you're playing it from hand, then you do have to have the color requirements. So it's a 5 cost, and then its activate main is suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to its owner's hand. So you don't actually have to hit the card that you suspend to put it back into the deck. You could actually hit another Digimon and then throw another one of your opponent's Digimon that was suspended back to their deck. So it lets you could pick and choose what you want to send back to their hand. But so you have the options of hitting one Digimon that you know that you can't swing over at the time, or you could suspend one Digimon that you know that you could get over, and then another one that you just maybe don't want to swing over. Like if it has like a Alright. Then next, so yeah, that definitely comes in handy. I definitely would say play these. Next we have Hell Masquerade. So it's a 1 cost green card. One of your Digimon gains 2,000 DP for the turn, and then if you have a blue Digimon in play, one of your Digimon gains piercing. So it's just basically a way to give piercing to like your Imperialdramon or whatever, or if you wanted to play the Gran Kuwagamon and you had like a Vmon in play, you could give him piercing and security attack +1. So it's a good card. I'm kind of iffy if I'm going to probably play this, but it's definitely a good thing to have to be able to give piercing to one of your Digimon. And then the final card of the starter decks is a reprint of Flower Cannon with an alternate art, and it's a foil. So not bad. Definitely happy that we got some reprints of this. I mean, it's not an expensive card, but I mean, it's pretty like useful to green. Its main activate main is suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for 2, but its security effect is the main effect that you want, which is suspend all of your opponent's Digimon without blocker. So that's pretty good, especially if like you're able to swing over your opponent's Digimons. You could definitely clear things that you don't want them to have on board. So yeah, definitely a good card. Anyways, some other notable. Sorry about that. Yeah, some other notable cards that you could probably throw into the deck. So we have the Sneemon from BT3. So he evolves for 1 cost over a green, so that's kind of bad because the only green that we have that's a level 3 is the Wormmon. But I mean, if you wanted to, you could. If you had to, you could hard play this. And then it's when this Digimon deletes one of your opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, it gains 1 memory. So just basically a memory gain. I just happened to pick up. I ended up getting a 4th copy of the foil tournament promo ones at my last tournament I went to. So yeah. Then of course we got fighter mode, which is definitely pretty good. And then his one of his effects is if you digivolve over a card with dragon mode in it, basically Imperialdramon dragon mode, he only costs a 2 to digivolve on top, and then you can return a 10,000 DP from your opponent's, one of your opponent's Digimon to their hand, and then obviously has his attacking effects. So pretty good. And then mainly probably since you'd want to place a lot of the other Vmons to play, especially like the starter deck one for the last one. So maybe if you want, you could play an Alt Force Vidramon or like the one from the starter deck. I just happened to grab this one, but yeah, an idea. Again, since you're blue-green, you could digivolve into Blitz Omnimon in case you need to. So you could Blitz Omnimon for game. So that's an option too. And then of course, just because I pulled it, you could play the Paioderma Paladin mode then too. If you have, I think you don't even have to digivolve over the fighter mode. I think you could just digivolve over the dragon mode too if you wanted. So yeah, so that could be an option too. Maybe if you don't have 2 of them, maybe you could play 1 paladin mode and 1 omnimon. And then his effect is if you have a white level 7 Digimon in your trash, you can return it to the bottom of your deck to reduce his cost by 4. So then he becomes a 3 cost on top of your level 6s. So yeah, that's just like some options. Another obviously good option would be to play the Davis and Ken Tamer card. Gives you a +1 memory if you have a blue Digimon, +1 memory if you have a green Digimon. If you have one that's both, or both of them, both colors represented, you gain 2 memory, so not bad. Again, like I said, the starter deck Vmon, because he draws you cards. Then you play the EX1 Vmon. Got some jamming Vmons just cause. And of course, like I said, the other Vmon that searches your deck for 2 blue dual color 2 cards that are dual color with blue. So that's good. And then the jamming X Vmon from EX1, which has jamming itself, and then it gives jamming to any of your Imperialdramons on top of him. That's pretty good. And then I just played Raidramon since we're playing Raidramon, and then got another fighter mode in here. But yeah, I've been looking forward to this deck. So I have like most of the deck like sleeved. I was just waiting for these starter decks to come out. So yeah. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe. I do appreciate it. And yeah, we will be opening up the Mastamon starter deck next after this. So yeah, stay tuned for that. As always, thank you so much for watching. This is Saiyan TCG. Till next time.